Hola, familia, and welcome to today's episode. Today, we're going to be talking about faith and what it means, what it looks like. For me, I'm going to be sharing my experience about it. So come and join me today as we talk about faith, the magic behind it, and the ugly booger cries behind it. Hola, familia, and welcome to Fire and Butterflies, where vulnerability meets authenticity, where courage meets love, and where fire meets butterflies. And I am your host, Comadre Cristal, spiritual mentor, bruja coach. And I am so grateful and so blessed and so just, there's just so many feelings I have to be here today, to be able to have this conversation with you, especially as so many things have been happening. If you're listening to this episode at any point in your life, it doesn't matter if you've heard this, if you're hearing this months later or today, it's life is always constantly happening. And when life happens, better said, when life gives you lemons, it causes a lot of anxiety. It causes a lot of stress. It has for me. And during those times is when faith is tested. It's during those times that faith is really in your face, but at the same time, it feels so distant. This last week, I've been having so many conversations with La Familia, with amazing comadres, compadres, and comextres. And and I kept seeing a repeating pattern. I kept seeing faith being questioned, being stretched, being tested, being strengthened. And and it was for me as a spiritual mentor, bruja coach, it was beautiful to witness. And at the same time, I was very intentional to create this space to let La Familia feel what they had to feel and remind them, okay, I hear you. And what are the next steps? Because that's what faith is. For me, faith really is this ultimate belief in something. And it does like okay, so let's look at the word faith in itself, not necessarily faith as a whole, or I mean more like faith as a whole, not necessarily faith as in religion or in higher power. Let's just look at the word faith. Faith means to believe in something. Like for example, as you all know, working in the field for as long as I did, I lost my faith in our criminal justice system in this country. I lost faith in the systems that were created to help families, such as like CPS and things like that. I lost faith on that, but that was based on my experience. That doesn't mean that everyone in the world has also lost faith in them. I truly do believe that our experiences shape our faith. And yet, when I work with so many amazing people, faith in a higher power is always so. Now, I don't want to describe it as wishy-washy, but it feels like it's a roller coaster ride. You know, there's times where the faith is so strong and it's like, yes, I believe I got this, it's gonna work out. And then there's times where faith can really look like, what do I do? Please help me, show me, guide me. And the conversation really turned into this because I was having a conversation with someone and they looked at me and said, Crystal, I don't even know if I have faith. Oh, familia. And when I heard that, I felt it. I felt it at my core because I remember being there too. I remember also feeling at what point in my life, like, do I even have faith? do I even believe? And honestly, the answer was no. No, I didn't. I didn't have faith. I didn't believe. And that is why I I'm so adamant and I put a lot of weight into the importance of creating your own higher power, the importance of creating a relationship with a higher power, a relationship with something bigger than you. Because going back to the definition of faith, I truly do believe faith is believing in something. And then when it comes to healing, when it comes to wanting to be the best version of yourself, when it comes to breaking cycles, when it comes to breaking generational trauma, addictions, patterns, you can't do it alone. I've tried. I tried doing it alone. And maybe some of the familia out there, maybe you're doing it alone and you're doing great. And if that's the case, go for it. More power to you. Um, my experience was I couldn't do it alone because my whole life I had been alone. Growing up in a toxic household, growing up always expected to do everything, be everything, hold it together. I, I grew up being a control freak, best way to put it. Like I needed things to be right, things needed to be straight. I became obsessive with making sure everything was done perfectly the first time. And if not, then I do it again, then I do it again, then I do it again. Familia, that gets exhausting. And don't get me wrong, I'm still not perfect to this day. Perfectionism still is another itch in my life, but I'm working. What do? I hand that over. So one of the things that helped me start to realize, oh, I don't have control was my spiritual journey. Was in that moment when I decided I needed to find a higher power or find something bigger than me because I couldn't do it anymore. And 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 that's where it started. I started looking for God. I started looking for this power because I felt so alone and I couldn't figure it out. I felt so lost. And it was actually in the rooms of a 12-step recovery program where one of their steps is, a power, a God of my understanding. And I remember hearing that a God of my understanding, not so and so's understanding, not Peter's understanding, not Susan's understanding, not Sarah's understanding, not Mike's understanding, but Cristal's understanding. And at that moment, that was when I realized, okay, so if I develop a relationship with a God of my understanding, maybe I could develop some sort of relationship. Maybe I can develop some sort of trust. Because at this time, Familia, I didn't trust higher power. I didn't trust God. My heart had been broken. My life had been trauma after trauma after trauma, disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. Now, of course, I had glimmers throughout my life. It wasn't like it was, but the traumas were always there. And I suffered from depression. And so, yeah, like Eh, depression and anxiety, FYI. So yeah, like it doesn't matter of all the good things in your life when you're so stuck in all the negative things in your life, they outnumber and outpower the positives. So that's where I was at in my life for the majority of my life. And when I started to realize, okay, maybe I can develop this higher power relationship. Maybe I can develop this relationship with a higher power of my understanding. I didn't even like the word God, to be quite honest and very authentic with all of you. I did not like the word God. Every time I heard someone say God, I felt like a punch in my stomach, like, ugh, ew, God, that's so gross. And, but higher power felt good. Higher power, a power higher than me. And that was where I really started to develop it. And I created my own energy. I created this energy that was feminine, that was fierce, that was strong, that was loving, that was compassionate. and quite honestly, the opposite of a God that I was raised with, especially the Catholic gods. Um, so that's really the core of where I started to come back home to my faith, because that's what I feel faith is. It feels like a calling to come back home. And and so I proceeded. I kept going. It didn't look pretty. There were times where I questioned everything. There were times, not were, because to this day there still is. I'm not perfect. I'm still a I'm still a spiritual being having human experiences. And and yeah, but going back, it was challenging. It was hard. And everything changed when I finally surrendered. When I finally said, I am done. I can't keep doing this. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. But hey, guess what, higher power? You do, so do it. It wasn't that pretty. I was on the floor in my bedroom, crying my little eyes out, of boogers and everything, asking, begging, not asking, I was begging for help. Um, and that was my exact prayer was, I don't know what the fuck to do, so please help me, guide me, protect me, show me, and I'll do it. I surrender. Like I surrendered in that moment to my higher power, this divine feminine energy. And I mean, from that point on, things just started shifting. Again, my prayer wasn't answered. It wasn't like automatically all my problems are gone. But in that moment, I did feel held. I felt heard. I felt seen. I felt valued. I felt loved. And that's when I said, okay, my higher power does have my back. This power that's greater than me is going to be there with me. And I can't see it, I can't feel it, I can't touch it, but I know. And so I really dove in deeper to creating this relationship with this higher power. At that time, I was calling my higher power spirit because again, God didn't feel right. Higher power, it's interchangeable, but spirit felt right. Spirit felt um, ancestral for me, like espiritu. Um, and so I just kept going. I kept going, and that's really where faith has been taking me. It's this belief of, hey, show me, tell me, guide me, and I might be scared, but I'm gonna do it because I mean, familia, we all know this. Courage, that's what courage is. Courage does not mean you're not scared. It means you're scared, but you'll do it anyway. And so I went forward. I faced what I needed to face. I faced a divorce. I faced single motherhood. I faced ownership of a home. I faced entrepreneurial, like leaving my 10-year career to pursue this. Like it and it was all on faith. And I don't want to say it was blind faith because that's the most important thing to for all of you to know. It was not blind faith because I still sat down and cried every way. Like I still questioned everything. I still was like, "Are you sure this is the right thing?" And nonetheless, I kept going because familia faith is when you like it. That's it. It's like, what else do you have? What else do you have? What else do you have? And you just keep going. And so that's really been where I've been in this journey of faith. And I love to remind La Familia, as much as I love to remind myself, faith is going to be wobbly. Like again, it's not meant to look perfect. It's meant to be so messy that we ask for help and we ask anyone or anything, or just even God itself. I like to call him Gus. And that is faith. It's when you know your life is so messy. Oh, when you know your life is so messy and yet you move forward because you're asking for something, you're asking for help, even if it's some invisible thing or a person. or a mentor or a friend or a loved one or a family member, like it still, that means faith. Because when you ask something or someone for help, it's because you're asking, like, I can't do this. I need help. And that was even harder for me to do because I don't like asking for help. I feel like that was a sign of weakness. But when I asked my higher power for help, it felt like my last resort. And that for me is faith. Like that is when you really do have to lean on something. So, yes, faith is hard. Faith is messy. Faith does not look pretty. It does not feel pretty all the time. It is tested, it is stretched. That's the beauty of it because it transforms as we transform. Our faith grows as we grow. Our faith is it becomes a part of us, especially once you start to enter into a spiritual healing journey, because you need that relationship with something bigger than you that you believe in, something that you know is going to catch that net, something that you know that when you're at the edge of the cliff, that you're just going to jump off and you know you're going to get caught. Um, that but that's developed through trust, and that trust has to be there. And that was also one of my challenges, was just building trust within myself. Because here's the thing, familia, if Gus is everywhere and I'm a little and Gus is there's a little piece of Gus inside of me, I need to trust myself, because then in turn I trust Gus. If I trust myself, I trust Gus. If I trust Gus, I trust myself. So I have to have that relationship. And so that's where I developed unlocking your inner comadre, was to trust and to create this ability and these tools, put them all together to heal and to transform my life and to finally be in a place where I can be led by Gus, be led by this higher power for my transformation, for my highest good, for me to become the best version of myself, my inner comadre. And it's been, like I said, it's been beautiful, but at the same time scary. It's been ugly. It's been amazing. It's been chaotic. It's been calm. It's been peaceful. It's all of them. But that's all faith. It's part of the faith. It's part of the web of life. And the closer we are to the center of the web, the stronger our faith can be. And that's okay if we are different places. The spider goes up and down its web. It doesn't mean it doesn't have faith. It just means it has to strengthen some parts when they get broken. And so that's what Unlocking Your Inner Comadre is all about. And I love this program for that. But yeah, that's faith. So, familia, if you don't know if you have faith, it's okay. It's okay. I challenge you to reflect on what parts of your life do you need to strengthen faith in. And it doesn't have to be with God. It could be in something else. It could be faith in your family, faith in what you do for a living, faith in whatever brings you peace and comfort. And if all of that is struggling, I challenge you. I challenge you to find faith in a higher power, in something greater than you, because we can't do it all. We are not God. We are not the universe. We are not spirit. There's a part of that, of course, inside of us, but we're not the whole thing. So, familia, let go of control, surrender, trust, flow, surrender, and let go. Because once we do, things become beautiful. All right. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. I love you all so much. I pray that all of you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, whatever you need. And I pray that you find your authenticity. May you find your vulnerability. May you find your fire. May you find your butterfly. May you find your power, because it's all sacred. It's all magical. And you, beautiful soul, are magic. With all of that, I am sending you all so much fire and butterflies. And don't forget to love your now. Bye.